going to ask you all that simple question. Do you think the wrestlers were justified in threatening to actually throw their medals into the Ganga? Preeti Chaudhary, why don't you take it first? We'll then come to all the sports journalists.
You know, I think the bigger question, Rajdeep, is that were the wrestlers justified in holding a protest on the day where the parliament was to be inaugurated, the new building, and, you know, justified to throw their medals into the Ganga? It's ultimately, if you look at it, they wanted to immerse it in the Ganga. It's not just their medals for them, because we've been speaking to them as well. It's their entire career in that one box. Now, what does a wrestler aspire to do? Somebody who finishes at the podium at the highest level. You know, this is their sheer hard work, you know, sweat, blood, pain, joy, all of that put together. It was an emotional decision. Of course, it was an emotional decision that they had taken. But what's interesting is on what really went down in the end. So you had somebody like a Naresh Tiket, who here in the capacity, Rajdeep, has intervened not so much as the head of the Bharatiya Kisan Union, but also as the head of one of the most influential and powerful cups when you come down to it. He heads the Balian Cup. His word has writ. And he is also...
No, but is this Nautanki? There will be those who will say this is all stage-managed drama to take eyeballs. The athletes should remain athletes. This is not for them to stage these kind of protests. How do you see that?
No, in their defense, what is it that the wrestlers always say? That for about 2.5 months, they did try to negotiate with the government. They did make it very clear that they will not allow their dais, their podium to be used by political outfits or even outfits like the Bharatiya Kisan Union or the Khap Panchayats. They said that we've waited our time, we have lost patience. And, you know, you've got to give them the benefit of doubt, because it's 37 days. They are squatting at Jantar Mantar. What has really happened? It took 7 days for the Supreme Court to intervene for an FIR to be filed. It took several other days.
How can you set a deadline that 5 days you've got to arrest him, otherwise we'll throw our medals into the Ganga? It's blackmail.
But has the government even batted an eyelid? Has anyone till now? 37 days. It's led up to it. Why aren't you looking at their fight on what it's been? It's been 37 days in the making, Rajdeep.
And why has he not been questioned as yet?
Yeah.
I mean, let alone
You're saying why Brij Bhushan Singh not been questioned?
Yes, the charges are POSCO, right? He needs to be questioned for that. That's what the wrestlers are saying. That's all right. That, you know, the law needs to take the due process, that's all right. What the wrestlers are asking, why isn't that you've even called him once to even question him? If you remember, going back to that time, they refused to even register an FIR against him. So that will raise the questions. Then you have the other issues. I agree that on that day of the parliament, yes, you know, they were marching ahead and the police had no option but to hold them. But what you said, it is Nautanki, but what is the option that is left for the wrestlers? We live in a world of event management, right?
True.
Where only event management allows you some sort of coverage. They've figured that out. They've realized that we need to do event management, only then will our voice be heard.
Okay. I'm sure where Vikrant Gupta comes in, because he's there, you know, been very clear in a tweet that I saw, Vikrant. You believe that wrestlers simply should not be even considering throwing their medals away, because they are playing with not just the medals and their reputation, but with the country who you believe has contributed to their rise.
No, they won the medals. I mean, and these are Olympic medals. In the case of Bajrang and Sakshee, yes. Vinesh hasn't won an Olympic medal.
But she's won a world championship.
Yeah, she's been a world champion. So these medals do belong to them. They belong to the country as well.
But they have the right to throw the medals if they believe that the system has failed them. They have every right to throw them away.
Okay, my point is they were taken to the brink, and Preeti is right. The government did not bat an eyelid. My point is, till 6 p.m. I may have been with them, and I sincerely never hoped that they'll immerse the medals into the Ganga. I thought maybe, you know, somebody would intervene, but not Naresh Tiket. How can you give your medals to Naresh Tiket?
You're saying that it is a sign how the movement is getting politicized.
You cannot give your medals to a third person. And what is the guarantee now? If he says 5 days, will something happen? What happens to the medals then?